Zacchaeus was a wee little man was he. He climbed up in the sycamore tree, for the Lord he wanted to see. And I butchered that Sunday school song, but maybe you've heard the story of Zacchaeus. Maybe you sang that as a kid, but that's our text, our daily devotion text for today. And here it comes. If you've not heard the song, I'm sorry. There's some dogs howling out there. Oh, anyway, that's why I'm not in the choir, folks. Here we go. Jesus entered Jericho and was passing through. And a man was there by the name of Zacchaeus. He was a chief tax collector and he was very wealthy. He wanted to see who Jesus was, but because he was short, he could not see over the crowd. So he ran ahead and climbed the sycamore fig to see him, since Jesus was coming along that way. When Jesus reached the spot, he looked up and said to him, "Zacchaeus, come down immediately. I must stay at your house today." So he came down at once and welcomed him glad heart. But all the people saw this and began to mutter, He has gone to be the guest of a sinful man." But Zacchaeus stood up and said to the Lord, "Look, Lord, here and now I give half of what I have to the poor. And if I have cheated anybody," he has, "out of anything, I'll pay back 4 times the amount." Jesus said, "Today the salvation has come to this house, because this man too is a son of Abraham. For the Son of Man came to seek and save the lost." Zacchaeus, I suppose, in his business life, had a little bit of little man syndrome. Napoleon complex, was using his aggressive business style to strip people of their wealth and their power so that he could live an extravagant life and make up for any shortcomings, play on words there, that he might have felt he had. But make no mistake that he was chief amongst the collaboration of Romans and tax collectors, which we talked about this last Sunday in worship, made people mighty angry that Jesus would have anything to do with this scoundrel, a person who's lower than low. But Zacchaeus is broken by Jesus. Something has broken away the greed and his egotistical, self-centered life, and he has turned back to God. In that moment, whatever happened when Jesus calls him down from the tree and says, "You and I are going to have a chat over dinner tonight," Zacchaeus says, "I'll give away half of everything I've got, and then I'll pay back 4 times anything I rip people off." Now, I'm not a mathematician, but if you're down to 50% of what you own and then you pay back 4 times what you took, I don't think that adds up. Zacchaeus is going to be broke. He's put himself out of business. Almost like that parable when a merchant who's looking for pearls finds one he's never seen before. He sells everything he's got, all his inventory, all his fine stones and pearls, just so he can have one he's never seen before. And he's put himself out of business. What? Yeah. Jesus has flipped the script for Zacchaeus, and a person who was once defined by avarice and greed and making his living off of the misery of others suddenly becomes inexplicably generous. It tells me God's never done with us. We might throw in the towel on each other, but God certainly doesn't. And isn't it just the way of God that through the unexpected and the seemingly impossible, that God says, over here, in this one, you'll see me in a way you've never seen me before, in a way that they've never felt before. To say God's ways are mysterious, I think, that's a phrase that gets bandied about a lot, but maybe the better term is God's ways just aren't ours. God doesn't play by our rules. Thanks be to God. God makes up the rules. And they're more generous, more merciful, overflowing with more abundant love and grace than we'd ever give each other. And I can't fully explain it. I can only tell you what that feels like. And I hope, like Zacchaeus' moment coming down from the tree, you've had that pivot point in your life when you realize, wow, something bigger is at work here, and had a chance to do a 180 back to God.